Hello and welcome back to the channel. So basically this time we're going to look at USB encoders, and this is one from EG Starts, which I do recommend. No affiliation with them at all. I purchased everything myself. I've had several of these, and I do find these to be very good quality USB encoders. So basically this is a zero delay encoder, and features LED lit buttons and 3-pin connections. So basically this is a 5-volt USB encoder. Now there's a couple of cables here that I've already connected. I've done that to make this video a bit simpler when I come to connect in a minute, just to show you how easy it is to do that. But basically you've got a strip here of 3-pin connections for your buttons, and you've got numerous options for turbo fire and whatever. If I turn the board around, you'll see here that we've got the 5-volt, we've got the auto fire, turbo fire, clear mode and whatever, and the K buttons here, 1 through 12, are your actual control buttons, your joystick buttons. And there's a USB port here and a USB cable, what it's supplied with, a good length too, which connects to that. And let's find the other end there, it's underneath there, that actually connects in here and to whichever device you're using to run it. So basically that can be a Windows PC, a Raspberry Pi, anything like that. This will connect to the USB port connects to the encoder, and then basically you'll run your software, whatever software you're using, which could be RetroPie, could be Batacera, anything like that, and specify which of these buttons does what with your configuration tool. So basically I've already connected these two cables here just to make it easier to show you how things connect. So basically when this comes, you'll get the encoder board, you'll get 10 of these 3-pin button connectors. You will get 10 buttons, 8 of these coloured variants and 2 for your start and select. You'll get the joypad here, joystick, sorry, and this comes with a 5-pin connection, sorry, and that one will connect to the 5-pin connection on this controller board. Obviously you'll get the USB, and each of the buttons will come with this. So basically you will drill your hole to the width of the thread here and pop this in, and then this runs up the back just to hold the button in place. So quite simple. Also you do have the option with these ones of pressing these two little notches here. You can actually flip out this button and you could mark the paper that's inside here, or print it, or whatever you want with something that you can actually see through the glass on, which can be quite nice if you wanted a plunger button for your pinball machine, or you wanted it to state something like well, anything, A, B, C, D, whatever you want. But you can do that, and it's a nice option. These simply connect there, the 3-pin connection. So I've left one here blank just so you can see it. There you go, it's a standard 3-pin connection. Just connects to these, quite simple. Now, what I would recommend you do is on the first 2 joysticks, which is on the first 2 buttons, which is K1 and K2, I would specifically add your 1 player and your coin buttons too. So for me, I would connect this one first, just push it in simply to there. That's connected now. Obviously your connection would be done once you've placed your buttons into behind your cabinet, and then you'd push these in. Quite simple to fit, very, very simple little device that. And I would plug this one into the K2. So your start and your select buttons would be on K1 and K2, and then everything else can be plugged into any of these ones here. They're very, very simple to connect, as you can see. Just pushes straight in to the one. You just make sure you've got the 2 pins. I'll plug this into this one just because it's simpler, and they just, sorry, when you've got them the right way, they just push in into the Now you do realise why I chose to connect most of the wires beforehand, because it can be a bit fiddly while I'm trying to show you on camera and keep it within focus. So basically that's all they do there. Depending on how many buttons you have will depend on how many of these actual slots that you actually use. So if you've got a 4 button cabinet, you're only going to use the first 4 slots, and obviously you start and select. These will remain blank, you don't need them. If you want to add a turbo fire or whatever, you would pick the right one from the back, looking at the back there, and you can add a button for your turbo or auto fires or whatever, which would have to plug into a specific one for them. But for standard buttons, you would just plug into these ones here. Now obviously the more buttons you've got, the more of these ports you'll use. You will find my Pac-Man cabinets that I will I've done a very large video on, utilises pretty much all of these, because I've added additional buttons to that. I think I've got 11 buttons on my Pac-Man cabinet. So basically all these are utilised, and you will see that there's a massive wiring to that because of so many buttons being used. So these are everywhere, and I think I had to use another kit to add an additional button because it didn't come with enough cabling or buttons for it. So basically that's that. These are really, really easy to fit. The only restriction you're going to have is the length of the wiring. So basically these wires aren't particularly long. Now for my arcade 1-up cabinet, I did manage to get it perfectly so these actually fit. I didn't need any additional wiring, no additional length of cables or anything for my cabinet. I managed to actually do it all with the stock kit, albeit I had to buy 2 of them. So specifically that there's a quick tutorial on the USB encoder, 0 delay. These ones are 3-pin, and they're 3-pin for a reason, because they've got a neutral, a live, and an LED cable. If you didn't have the LED lighting, you would only need these to be a 2-pin connection. Now those are available from different manufacturers, to be honest. I do have one. This is one here from another manufacturer. As you can see, now these are 2-pin connections because there is no LED buttons with this device. Now also I did notice that everything else seemed to be a bit not as good quality. As you can see here, it comes with the USB port, but the connection here connects directly to the actual board via this 4-pin connector here. It plugs directly to the board. Now I find that to be a bit not as good a quality as the other one, where your port is already soldered onto the board, which is one of the main reasons why I determined the EG Starts one to be better. And also the buttons seem to be far better manufactured as well. I will quickly show you the button that is bagged. As you can see, a lot shorter than these ones, a lot shorter. 2-pin connections, because the connectors for this don't use the same 3-pin connectors, but as you can see, the button there, far shorter, far less maneuverable, and also they just clip in, as you can see with the clips. Now to me, that's a bit poor quality compared to these ones, and obviously they're not clear or whatever, so you can't actually see through them. To replace this bit, which you can with these. And now I do determine these ones are cheaper. These ones are, I think, retail for about 20 quid. But when you add up the quality, I'd rather pay that extra £5 and have these ones. I deem these ones to be much better quality all around on the actual encoder board and everything else. This one will suffice, but this one far superior in my view. Anyway, so these are quite easy to fit, a very easy job to do, to be fair. It's not rocket science. The only problem you may have is getting your cable in to reach wherever you've placed your encoder board. That will be a problem. So sorting out your buttons, the holes for your buttons and whatever, and making them within close proximity of this might be your biggest issue. Apart from that, actually fitting the board and using some sort of software once you've got it connected to your PC, Raspberry Pi, whatever you're using, is also quite child play really. Just connect, press your button, hold it down, and it will should recognize it so long as it's plugged in. So no problem there. It's mainly the connections, the length of your cabling, your encoder board, where you place it, and your buttons, holes that you drill for your buttons in whatever you're putting them in your control panel, just so everything will reach, basically. Now I assume there will be some way of getting extension cables or longer cables or whatever. I haven't gone into that because I didn't need to, but yeah, so don't fear it. It's quite simple. And there's a joystick here, comes with a 4-pin connector, which just goes into the 4-pin connector on the USB board there. So yeah, it's a simple process. Just your cabling and your button holes, make sure they were in proximity, or you're going to get out of longer lengths of cable, whatever you need. So yeah, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do to the channel would be appreciated, and thanks for watching.